Okay, people. June 30th, 2017. Not the way I expected to start my video with crime scene tape. So obviously somebody got seriously injured. Cops don't do that unless something seriously happened. Either a stabbing or a murder. Or both. This is like right outside my front door. Welcome to the city of Surrey. A wonderful place to be. Okay. So now I'm in the back. Totally not motivated. Plus I'm tired, right? People, this is hard work for a 99-pound woman. It looks pretty damn good, though. I am pleased with it. And it's solid. Now, but my feelings are changing, people. I'm not going to be played for a fool. If these people honestly think I'm going to work like a fucking dog for another fucking year in this fucking yard, as I struggle with leaky porches and all this other shit, and my stuff getting ruined because of that, right? And I'm just a sitting duck for the city to come in and say something else at some other point, right? I don't think I'm going to be planting a garden next year. It's because that's what happened. I planted a garden, and this is my reward. I get punished for not having this perfect back here. For planting food. For my family. So, I'm really not motivated to exercise extenuously right now. Because my body is sore. But I have to come outside and do something. It's 2 o'clock, going on 3. It's only like 10 after 2. So it doesn't get dark until 9:30. Let's take a good look. These are the children that don't like my grandson. This is their yard. They never play back here, though. Like I said, nothing moves. The only thing that moves in here, people, are the rats. That's the only thing that moves in here. Old rotten cardboard. Some little wagon. It has a bunch of junk in it. Pieces of plywood or something. I don't know what this is. Well, this is actually pretty good stuff because it's like a plastic. Could use that for water, but it's been sitting here for so long. They would probably just chuck it if they were forced to. Oh, look, there's some nice ones underneath there. But the city doesn't care about that. All right? Why? Why, people? Why does the city not care about this? I mean, they come up this alley. They come up in here. They made, or they did it themselves, I don't know who, but there used to be bamboo in here and they didn't like it. So they sprayed it all down and killed off every inch of that bamboo, right? Look at, there's my gardener cat, Mickey. All right. This backyard is off limits, except for graffiti. All right. But they come up here. City comes up here. They're the ones that killed off all this stuff, all that bamboo, because they said it was an invasive plant. All right. They don't care about that garbage. I don't know who that belongs to. You know, boat doesn't seem to be a problem. Right? Like I said, this never moves, people. Never. Those children, they play up in there, hanging over the fence, telling Andre that they don't like him. What kind of nonsense is that? Right? There's the shed. I think I should just stop calling it Andre shed. Right? Seriously, people, cops just don't yellow tape off. It's on the other side too. I was looking out my window and you can see the door is open in there, unless somebody seriously got injured or murdered. Right? This is like a little mixed up unit of whatever in there. Like there's like 4 or 5 little suites. Alright, maybe 3 or 4. And what I'm going to end up doing after I'm done in the back there a little bit is obviously I'm going to use up what cement I have. I'm not buying any more after that. So I will continue to make these things and lay them down in the ground, you know, and debark my apple wood and put it someplace else. I don't think I'm going to bother putting a pond in, people. I'm not. What's the point? What's the point? They're not, these people that are harassing me like this for whatever reason, the city or whatever it is, like, it's not worth it, man. Because if you notice, I'm working, right? Planting and working, and I'm getting beat up over it. So I can't handle it anymore. Like, just can't fucking handle it. Plus, somebody's coming into my yard, probably one of those GMOI stalkers, in combination with Duncan Clan and Facebook friends that live in Surrey, right, to you know, continue to derail the non-profit that I work on and keep what happened to Uncle John hidden, right, hidden away like a dirty secret. Do you see this, people? Hasn't moved. They're the same size. Now why is that? I was out here last night with Andre pulling up these potatoes because all of a sudden, out of the blue, some of these potato plants are just dying, straight up die, like within a matter of days. Now why is that, people? What's going on? So I'm going to be pulling up my potatoes because I have a feeling somebody's coming into my yard and pouring shit into my dirt. Even my daughter, my oldest daughter, a couple of year ago or whatever, was saying the same thing. She was trying to tell me, Mom, there's something in something's happening to the dirt. Somebody's doing something. I'm like, oh. Anyway, so I'm going to be pulling up my potatoes here because not only do I have to deal with potato thief, right? Whether it's the raccoons or a human being, but I'm serious, plants just don't up and die. Plants just don't sit there for a whole growing season and not grow. While everything else around it pretty much does. Right? So, I don't know, people. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to be planting anything next year. I think next year I'm going to be working on moving out, and I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do because that's too far away. Other than I'm tired of being used and abused, treated like garbage, like second-class citizen, right? So that they can profiteer off of the demise of my family and then call this place fucking quality living. And as for the greenhouse, after everything's done growing, right, I am just going to leave the planter pots and whatever in here. Everything can die because it's going to eventually die anyway, right? And it can just sit there, people. I am not planting anything in here next year come spring. What's the point? What's the point of trying? There is no more point in trying. I'm done fucking trying. Okay? Whoever gets this house after, whether they sell it and a new owner moves in, or whether they jack up the rent by $700 and $600 a month and new tenants move in, they can pick up with these dusty, dried planter pots. Because this is going to become bone dry in here, people. Completely bone dry after these plants are done. I'm serious. I'm not going to waste my fucking time. I'm tired of being abused. I'm tired of being treated like a fucking criminal for wanting something like that in my life versus weeds, raccoon shit, and more weeds. And I'm not even going to be planting gardens. I'm going to plant nothing, people. I'll just let the dirt fucking dry up and it can just sit there for the next tenants. I'm sure they'll enjoy the dirt. Right? And I'll have a yard sale in the spring, and I'll sell off the windows that I don't need, being that I'm not going to build anything anymore. I will clear out the junk in there, and it can just stay fucking empty. And who cares if there's grass? I don't give a shit either. Normally I get down in here and I take out these things before they get out of control so that there actually can be grass. And the grass is recuperating right now because I took off the junk that came in from next door, or whatever I pulled out in there to put in there, or whatever. But as it is, who fucking cares? Like, seriously, who fucking cares? Right? Not gonna worry about no leaky fucking porch, no leaky fucking sheds, no leaky fucking garage, no leaky fucking basement bathrooms. You know, nothing. Not gonna worry about shit. Right? Okay, so change of plans. I'm not going outside, people. I'm sorry. I worked too hard with that shit yesterday, and like, it's really, really hard on me. Like I say, I get up in the morning and my ears are just screaming. You know, not so much pressure in my head and my eyes. Like, since I haven't been seeing the eye doctor, that feeling like the thumbs are in your eyes, being poked into your eyes, hasn't been... I haven't really noticed it. But I tell you, if I was to start going to see the eye doctor and they come up with these little machines and they push on your eyes, maybe that's what provoked it, right? But in terms of the screaming in my ears and just, you know, I get very congested and the nose starts running and that type of thing. If I use the eye drops, nose starts running, get more congestion, right? If I'm out in the dust and the dirt and the algae and the grit and the grime, then obviously, right, that instigates, because I never had allergies before. So anyway, I'm entitled to do my laundry. I'm entitled to be able to wash my bathroom, have time for that, right? And wash the floor and that type of stuff, right? I mean, it's not an easy house to live in, people. It doesn't have adequate, it has no inside porch, first of all. That's separate, right, from the house itself. So there is no sorting out bay, no place to have your shoes all piled up without everything tracking into the house. And what porch I do have leaks, right? So as soon as it rains, everything gets all grody, the water travels, spreads the mud, raccoons are climbing on things, cats are spraying, neighborhood cats or whatever, right? People tossing things around, you know. So anyway, I'm not going to worry about Andre's floorboard for his playhouse right now, because I can get up in the morning. And just start fresh, because I'm kind of numb right now from yesterday, because I really pushed myself hard yesterday doing what I was doing. Because I've got that whip on my back under a caste system that tells me that I'm a second-class citizen, and therefore I should work like a slave and be treated like a slave. And that's pretty much what it's boiling down to, as I'm being told I have to leave within a year. And for sure, if the city should show up again, because that's strike 3. So in light of that, you know, I have to come to reality that my landlords don't want me here. It's becoming pretty apparent. They don't want to fix anything because the taxes are too high. Because the house is too old. Because the house is going to be torn down next year, because they're going to be bulldozing every freaking house for a 2-block radius to build in high-rises that nobody can afford. So there's no point in trying to establish any kind of sense of quality of living while you live in this house, because your only mission while you live in this house is to do my dirty work for me in terms of clean up my yard, make sure that it's presentable so that the next buyer can come in and justify kicking out an innocent family so they can make a profit. And while you do that, you can pay my mortgage too. So I have to pick and choose what I want to work on now. And planting food is not on the agenda anymore. After this year is over, I'm not planting food next year. I'm not starting seedlings. The only seeds that I might start are the oak trees, because they're endangered, and the walnut trees, because they're endangered. right? Just like the wildlife in the city of Surrey is in danger. Not to mention the humans that don't have the money to protect themselves from the gang stalking and the targeting of psychological warfare and gaslighting techniques to break your spirit so you become a puppet to the great grand scheme of things of some people prospering while the rest wallow in misery. So this is a pretty miserable state. Just like across the street, they don't put up no-go crime scene tape unless, and they're still there, so that means somebody got murdered. More than likely, I bet you, once it gets down the grapevine, I'll find out that they got murdered in there. Just like they're murdered over there and they're murdered over there. The only reason I know about this murder is because it's like, as soon as I open my door, there it is, right across the street. And this is what my landlords are forcing me to go move into. Low income, out of control, infested with mental illness, and everybody's stressed out. Children are hungry, got nothing to do. Bed bugs and cockroaches everywhere. Because that's just another form of caste system. That's all it is. That caste system makes the ones sitting up in those fucking monster houses feel good about themselves. Or in Shawnigan Lake, as in John Duncan's loving nurse sister, Eleanor. The white supremacist that walks through the hospital halls looking for her next victim under a code white system to trash the next family that she decides that she doesn't like. That story will never change. So now I feel guilty for wanting to be inside today to recuperate my strength so that I don't fuck up tomorrow with the skill saw when I'm outside putting a nice subfloor in for the children in the playhouse. And fixing Andre's slide. I have to build a ladder. And I have to put, I have to fix his play table. I have to take off the one that's on there because the plastic is rotting. I figured I'd just put a nice piece of wood on there. So I'll work on that before I start chucking the wood. Because after I'm done fixing the things that I want to fix in terms of the compost box and the shed and Andre's playhouse and the table and maybe a few more borders just because, the rest of it's gone, people, and I'm not doing anything more after that. The next tenant, I don't care if it's a homeowner that moved in or if it's a renter. The next tenant can fucking deal with it. And when they walk into that greenhouse, what they're going to get, and I'm going to tell you right now, is a dead zone. That's what they're going to fucking get. A dried up fucking dead zone. I'm not doing anything. I'm not painting the greenhouse. I was going to paint the greenhouse this year. I was going to try and, well, I will insulate the bottom base once those plants die. I didn't have time to, I really wanted to insulate it before I planted those tomatoes. But I was under pressure with the fucking city to do the backyard, so I felt guilt, the driveway, so I felt guilty, and I thought, oh no, you don't have time to insulate the wall, even though it makes more sense to insulate it now before you put the plants in front of it, because I've got this big bag of insulation that my neighbors gave to me next door, and the rubber matting and everything else, which will be perfect. And I said, no, just wait till the plants die off, and then you can insulate. I will do that out of the kindness of my heart for the next fucking tenant. Simply because I have the insulation. Simply because I have the foam. Simply because I have the nails and everything that I need to do to get it done. But I'll be damned if I start any fucking seeds in that greenhouse next year. And if that's the case, why would I care if the windows are completely insulated? To bring, or whatever. Why would I care if the greenhouse is painted? I don't. That's what the city of Surrey has brought this down to. I blame the city of Surrey more. I blame the city of Surrey more for this than I do my landlords. Am I saying that my landlords aren't, like, you know, trying to figure out maybe how to get out of their, oh, take it now. We'll never raise the rent. Stay as long as you want. Keep trying. Don't give up. So I feel guilty for wanting to wash my bathroom so that my grandson has a clean washroom to come into, considering what we come into contact with day after day after day in this yard. You know, I've only got like 2 or 3 loads of laundry. Well, I got 2 loads of laundry in the house, and I still have some stuff on the porch that keeps getting rained on when it does rain or whatever. So I think I'm just going to start laundry. I'm going to wash the 2 that's in my bathroom, and I'm going to get up what's on my porch. Since I'm taking a Sunday break, as the blacks in America would be singing hallelujah, you know, under their slave, well, you know, we get Sunday off, but never know freedom until we get into heaven. So today is Sunday, so I'm entitled to do my laundry and clean my bathroom, and maybe sweep my floor and wash it. And I'll try and get up fresh in the morning with the skill saw first thing in my hand, because I have to do it that way. I have to force myself to do it. I didn't want to do it, but I did it.
No.
In terms of not that I did. I'm talking. Wait a minute.
If and I are going to go to the front, okay? Can you open the front door for me? Please?
Anyway, he's playing with his friends. Lego. I don't even know what I was talking about. Outside of all that paint that was just donated to me in terms of outside paint, do you honestly think that I want to paint the stairs or anything for that matter, being that I've lived here for 7 years and nothing's ever been painted even before I moved in? And now that I have the paint, and I'm being told that I've got 1 year, or the next time the city shows up, that's it, you're out. Doesn't matter, I lose people. Why the fuck hell would I want to paint? I don't. I'll fix my compost box, because when I leave, I know I did the right thing by that compost box. Now, the new tenants, do they want to use that? They'd be foolish not to. And they're going to need them anyway once the weeds start growing. They're going to find out very fucking quickly why I did what I did when it came to compost boxes. Unless, of course, they want 50 fucking bags put out in the street for the city of Surrey in their composting bags. Which are about, like, this high. 5 feet off the freaking ground. 50 of those in a year. If not more. That's what I moved into. Just of weeds and morning glory. Well, the garden beds can fill up with fucking weeds. I don't give a shit. The only thing I care about right now is the white oak and the walnut trees. And the animals that feed off of those trees as the trees are being decimated. Right along with the humans in the community that doesn't sit with the city's vision. Right? So I'll get up in the morning and I'll go beeline first on my brain, make my brain do it. Right? For that skill saw. And I'll go put the subfloor in for the children. Not for the city, for the children in that playhouse. And I'm going to work on fixing the ladder for the children. Not for the city, but for the children. Same thing with the play table out there that just needs a new top on it. I'm going to do that for the children. Not for the city, for the children. And when this guy shows up on fucking Monday, which is actually tomorrow, he'll see me doing that. And trust me, I won't measure up with anybody. I'm not going to measure up with him. I'm not going to measure up with my landlords. I'm not going to measure up with my landlord's daughter-in-law. That's 4 against 1. And not one has been out in this yard and lifted a finger to do anything other than to criticize and criminalize and penalize so they all four can make a fucking profit. And then tell me to go paint? Keep up with the garden? Keep up with the grass? I don't think so, people. I don't fucking think so. I think it's a reality check with me here. I will do my repairs where the repairs need to be done, and I'm going to start thinking about moving out. Obviously, I can't go anywhere. I have been sabotaged by Fraser Health Authority and CIBC Bank and their affiliates, which in part is the city of Surrey, because the city of Surrey profiteers off this shit. If they're not stealing toys and dropping them off by poundage at Value Village and places like that, getting their profit on, they're smearing your character by suggesting that you're hoarding fucking chemicals as if you're running some fucking meth lab, when in fact all you want to do is paint your landlord's house and wash the toys that are being attacked. The paint can go to the paint recycling center. It's just not too far from here. I already talked to my daughter about taking the miscellaneous cans of paint around here that's no good anymore. I have paint still sitting underneath the steps that were there underneath the steps when I first moved in. Those cans can all go to the paint recycling center on a particular day when the day comes. Does that make me a fucking criminal? This is not even my fucking yard, man. So, since I'm doing such a lousy job, people, since I should be looking into the lens, I'm looking over here because I'm waiting for it to start flashing. Here, let me look. Do you ever look at my fucking eyes? Do you see my pupils? Where's my pupils, man? Since I'm being so criminalized and I'm doing such a lousy fucking job in this yard since Uncle John disappeared. Since Uncle John disappeared, and the housing market has gone out of control with all these gangsters running around, right? All you have to do is just look at all the fucking needles everywhere to see how many fucking gangsters in this fucking community, right? Just see how many families are losing their houses. Just see how many fucking gangsters are in this fucking community, right? And since I'm doing such a lousy fucking job in this fucking yard, then I'm going to stop trying. Just tidy up before I leave.